What's up, family? So I wanted to tell my story first as a way to preface the conversation, and then I want to give you the message, and then we have a conversation down in the comments, all right? So this was a story, right? My mom. My mom didn't have a job at a certain point in time. I was a janitor at a hospital, and I knew she was looking for a job. I was helping her with her resume. I was helping her apply for jobs. I was looking for jobs on my iPhone or whatever when I can on my break or whatever at work, because when you truly love someone, you're going to go above and beyond, right? You're going to have their best interest, and you're also going to want to see them succeed, because love is selfless, not selfish. And at the end of the day, if you have their best interest, you remove yourself out of it. Even though nowadays, a lot of people have a hard time doing that because they're so selfish and self-consumed on what they can get out of something. But real love doesn't seek anything in return. You just love because you know at the end of the day, from a genuine standpoint, you want to treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you know how you want to be treated, you would know that you want to be loved and just want someone to genuinely have what's best for you. Not have a transactional relationship where if they do something for you, then you got to do something back in return. That's not comfortable. That's not cool. And at the end of the day, you don't want to be around someone like that, because then it's only a matter of time before they throw something in your face, right? So back to my story. My mom needed a job. I was looking on Indeed for her. I was looking for jobs for her, helped her with a resume, and I was a janitor at the hospital. And of course, I capitalized off the opportunity, and I got her in the hospital, right? And she was a janitor, and my mom, very smart, very skillful, has secretary experience, and beyond that, marketing experience, you name it. I feel like women are very productive when it comes to marketing, period, right? That's why you don't see women in the back of the restaurants when it comes to a restaurant opening or a hostess to host your seat. Most of the time it's a woman, a nice, good-looking woman, because then it's marketable for the restaurant. That's why Hooters at one point in time was so successful, right? They had women with the big rubies out, it attracted guys. Guys were attracted from the woman. It marketed the whole restaurant. And now I think the company's going bankrupt. But my point I'm saying is women are more marketable, because then it makes things more, how can I put this? It makes things more smoothly, right? Not saying that men can't be marketable, but it's something about that feminine approach from a real, genuine, feminine woman. I'm not talking about that masculine woman that want to be a man and want to be big, bad, and independent. I'm talking about a real woman, traditional woman that's feminine, soft voice, nice tone. She's just comfortable to be around, right? Where at the end of the day, they make you feel like home, and you can just have conversations, and they just welcome you into the restaurant. You just feel so welcome. That's what I'm talking about, right? And my mom is very, very valuable when it comes to marketing and stuff like that. So she, obviously being a janitor in the same department with me, working at this hospital, which was the only thing I could get her in at the time, even though I was still helping her look for jobs. But I capitalized off the opportunity, because if I know my mother need a job and I find the opportunity within where I'm working and I got a job, I'm going to look her out, right? And luckily, everything went smooth and went through. I talked to my supervisor at the time, and he was willing to help me out, because I was holding things down, helping pay bills and helping my father, and my mom wasn't working. And, family come together, right? They do what they got to do. Family stick together. But it's hard to stick together with takers, right? See, when you have a taker and a taker, it's psychotic. When you have a giver and a taker, it's neurotic. But when you have a giver and a giver, it's exotic, right? You can grow more. You get more things done. You can experience more. So a taker and a taker are just anchors. And a giver and a taker is an anchor. Because no matter how much that person gives, if it's a giver and a taker type of situation, and that was my situation, I was the giver, my mother was the taker. And I helped her with the job. because I love her to death. I'm gonna make sure she's straight, just like I would hope she makes sure I'm straight. But I ain't dependent on it. As a young man, I know at the end of the day, as a man, no one's coming to save you. That's the reality of it. So, my mother took a down position in her stance because she's a janitor. She's been a secretary of marketing, all the whole nine, been higher up positions. So this is definitely a way downgrade to her. But then she worked her way up and she talked to colleagues around the hospital and got a better position in the marketing secretary arena. Back to where she was at, her familiarity, her valuable asset that's part of her resume portfolio, right? Amazing. I'm happy for her. But then the problem comes when the person that you helped and you don't care to take the credit for it, you're just happy to see them successful, family, friends, whoever they may be, they begin to basically humiliate you, basically crap on you, and tell you how you're not doing good in your life and what you should be doing and how you should be continuously evolving in your life and you need to be making the moves right now and you're not doing nothing with yourself. And I'm like, dang, I helped my mom, but I didn't expect that to come from my mom when I was going to community college. I was going to community college, doing the best I can, but also holding down and helping my father hold down bills for the family. So I was taking as much overtime I could, and I was working 2 jobs at the time. My original job was Wendy's. Then I got the job at the hospital as a janitor as well. And I was going to community college. So I would close. This was the iffy part. I was per diem at the hospital, but I was part-time at Wendy's. I originally closed 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. at Wendy's every day, even though I was part-time. But, work low staff, shortage of staff. Bring me in anytime. Ask me if I want to be on the schedule. As they make the schedule for the next week or the following month. Because in my Wendy's, at the Wendy's I worked at, in my district or that district where that local Wendy's was located, they always did the schedule a month in advance. So we all knew our schedules and there could be no excuses. But however, people always called out. So I was always there to help out and make money, you know what I'm saying? So I would close because then I could go to school in the morning. I'd be tired, but I could take a nap before I go in at 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. If I get a 9 a.m., at 8 a.m., at 8:30 a.m., and to a 9 a.m. to a 10 a.m. class, like taking three classes, 4 classes, early classes, so I could nap before I go in at 4, right? And then what happened is I was hurt because I didn't have money to pay for my books. And when my mom, got the job and, she got the better position, I was like, Mom, I'm a little bit in the pickle because, I was helping hold down the family and I know you still getting yourself situated, recouping, you got some debts or whatever you got to pay. But I really need this science book because at that time I was trying to major in pre-pharmacy. And she basically asked me, what you doing with your money? You know how to manage your money? What you asking me for money for? So apparently you don't want to do nothing with yourself. Straight up just humiliate me, put me down, belittle me, the whole 9. Right? And I share that story because then eventually I became absent from her, right? I had to unfortunately learn how to love my mother differently and set myself apart by departing from her and loving her from a distance to the point where she got even more angry that I was departing from her, that it came to the point where I had to be totally absent. Because see, it's a lot of young men out there who moms see them, and parents in general see them as a retirement fund. They see them as a lifeline to fund their retirement. So the reality is my mother was pushing me to go to school, but didn't want to help me when I needed help. But I was helping the family because families are supposed to stick together, as I was always taught. But that was very hypocritical because when I needed something to actually add value into myself so it ultimately benefit our family, my mother, my sister, and my mom, so we all uplift each other and, advance in life and you want to see each other do good because you want each other to have it. Who don't want to win and want others around them to win that they truly love, right? And it started making me question, dang, do anybody really care I'm doing this thing on my own? I helped my mother. My father ain't get into it. My sister wasn't working. You know, she was still, they let her, still experience the high school experience. She was like a sophomore or whatever. So couldn't really work like that. She couldn't. But, I did what I was supposed to do and helping the family. And it really crushed me because I had to drop out. But she belittling me like I'm not trying to go to college or do something with my life. But then, you're going to be a pharmacist. You need to do this. You should go to school. I don't know what you're doing with your money. But ultimately, she was pushing me. Because the reality is, she was pushing me to make sure that not only do I take care of the bills and she could do what she want with her money, but then when she have no money, she'll get mad at everybody, even me, and come at me hard. I'm the oldest because it's me and my sister, right? I only have one sibling. It's my sister. I'm the oldest. And the burden was on me to basically be like, you should be doing something with yourself. You should be setting the tone as the older brother to your younger sister. And at the end of the day, I'm your mother because when I get old, who's going to take care of me? But all this pressure as a young man, fresh out of high school, doing the best I can with what I have, I was belittled. I was put down. And I had to basically get away from my mom, and that hurt. Because I can't be around when someone's so negative, where they make self-inflicted wounds. They don't handle themselves financially responsibly. They don't handle themselves financially. They don't hold themselves financially responsible. But when I'm doing something actually helpful for the family, as a young man, fresh out of high school, as a freshman in college, and I had to drop out, I'm held responsible. But then you get a pass because at the end of the day, I'm your mother. Anything that I need, you're supposed to have it. Even though my father was there, and I felt like he didn't have a backbone. Because at the end of the day, you were supposed to be leading this family, bruh. And I feel like I'm leading more than you is as a son. Because my mother would overtalk him and wouldn't let him talk. She was more the masculine one, and my father is non-confrontational, so he more the feminine, his feminine nature, because he just happy wife, happy life. Whatever my mom wanted, he gave. He wanted to shut her up. But it created long-term problems because then it trickled down to me and it peer pressured me. And as a father, you're supposed to show me how to lead the right way so it's always beneficial and I continue to level up and elevate. So then we all ultimately be the beneficiary where I can really take full advantage of the opportunity, go to community college and not be strapped to the simple thing of responsibilities. And nothing wrong with helping family, but it's different when family is getting so comfortable of you helping that they have expectations on you that they don't have on themselves. And now that they got a job, they feel like they could poop on you. Right? And they still operating as if they don't have a job and ain't still helping with the bills. Because then you would think it's me, my mom, and my dad working. All the bills could be split. We all have money. No, me and my dad was doing it. You the men, you guys, make sure y'all hold it down. My mom wanted to do what she wanted to do with her money. But if she splurged and she asked me for some money, I better have it. So, and then she'll belittle me because I didn't have it. As a freshman in college, working at Wendy's and working as a janitor in the hospital per diem. And just to add a little bit more context, my father was just getting out of prison, but he was working those temp service jobs. He was doing the best he can. I helped him with his resume too. But he still, no complaining. He was going on Indeed, doing it himself, applying, and he got him a good paying job, and we was doing it together. Not to even mention the simple fact that after that, my mother fixed up her credit, used her money selfishly for herself, and then got a new spot, a new apartment. And it was no room for me to go. So it was just my sister, my mother, and my father. And that hurt me. Because now I'm stuck in the apartment we were originally in. And how I'm going to pay all these bills myself? I was getting help with my father, and then I just feel like y'all left me out to dry. But then y'all saying I'm not doing nothing with myself, but I feel like I've been put in a situation not from the best interest of my parents. So what I'm trying to say is, family, I had to be absent. I had to depart from them and let them go so I could go to college and actually do the things and level up that I should be doing. So your absence is going to make a lot of noise. There are some people that really thought in their minds that you was nobody, and these criminal narcs, you the fake friends, the family members, really thought they was better off without you. And in reality is, my mother still to this day, she could do no wrong. Oh, he got an attitude with me because I was teaching him how to be a man and do what's best for him, she say. That's what she say. Even though I told her that was wrong and I explained it the same way I explained to you guys, she don't see no wrong in it. But then if my absence doesn't matter, then why my mom still trying to kick it with me and holler at me and, ask me, oh, what you doing? Oh, you should come over. And I don't come over. But they thought that they was better off without you, my brothers and sisters, and didn't have value. And now they shocked. They are shocked for the simple fact that you elevated. They shook you. They're shook that you basically are making major moves. And now, not only are you making major moves, you're making major moves with Christ. Because the Most High and you know what you were supposed to be doing in the trajectory you were supposed to be going on. And they salty now. And they mad, right? And God will shut the enemies up. He will shut your haters up, right? Not to mention, all of a sudden, they want to come in the picture and benefit off of you making major moves. Because when I got my associate's degree, my mom was like, I told you so. I'm the one that told you to do that. No, don't try to capitalize off my name. Don't try to benefit off my name. Don't try to take credit for my success. Because at the end of the day, the enemy's family, they will be your footstool. They're positioned to be your footstool. See, you got put with double trouble like my situation. But then you got blessed with vindication. You got blessed with making major moves and they can't stand it. And that's all good. Because all of a sudden, since you started winning and making these major moves, they want to be quiet and silent. Because like I said, God shut them up. God shut up your naysayers, the enemies, and now they on hush mode, right? They on silent mode. They disrespected you. They treated you like you were trash, an outsider. Your own blood, just like in my story, treated you like trash. And they could really feel your absence. And it's making so much noise in their life right now. And nothing is going good for them, family. Nothing is going good for them. And at the same way, man, you got to let them fall by the wayside. Don't go save them, because that's not your story to intervene in. Sometimes we call ourselves helping people, but it wasn't our story. And it wasn't our story, but it also wasn't your battle to fight. Right? So they didn't appreciate your presence. Well, guess what? You blessed them with your absence. That's why you got to do what you needed to do. And in my case, I needed to go and get my associate's degree and do what I needed to do. And I started winning when I let go. My blood family, my blood mother. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the Most High, when he means business, he means business. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Love you guys. Peace.